the last couple of videos I had mentioned that we'd had some hard stuff come up. She couldn't just live in a pile on the barn floor. That's no life for a goat. We're in the midst of kidding season, as y'all can tell from our last several videos. And one of our last goats is kidding at some point today. But we gotta be kind of quiet and no sudden movements around this one. One of our full-size Nubians, Dawn. Hold on. Shh.
Say, so stinking cute.
She's so stinking cute. Dawn is in early labor. Dawn I got from a friend who was moving and wanted her to make sure she went to a good home. And I love Dawn. Dawn has an amazing udder. She's a full-size Nubian, bred to our buck Benji to have Mini Nubians this year. And I'm so excited about this. She moved as I tried to show you her udder. She is also my most skittish goat, and not in the fact that she doesn't want attention. She loves love, but at times she doesn't want any part of it.
Today's video is brought to you by Cat's Claw Fasteners. Listen, if you are tired of the hassle and the busted knuckles that come with using traditional fence staples, let me tell you about the solution. Cat's Claw Fasteners are fast and easy to install. They are incredibly versatile. We have found so many different uses for them here on the farm, from fencing to feeders to chicken coops. The possibilities are only limited by your imagination. If you're interested in adding another tool to your Homestead tool bag, head over to fencingstaples.com and use code GWP-FREE for free shipping on your order.
Our new kidding stall is not big enough for her to kid in the kidding stall. I don't know if it would be more stressful to her to put her over in the boys area or let her just kid. What are you doing? Are you scratching? No, come here. You have fuzz on your nose. I'll get it off. She had fuzz on her nose and it was driving her crazy. I don't know if it would be more stressful to put her over in the boys' side of the barn and where I have a divider, or if it would be better just to let her kid in the side with everyone and just let everyone give her space. And I know they will. They've done it for other girls, that when she lays down to actually kid, they'll back up and give her some space. She has not got any discharge yet, but she's very uncomfortable. She is pacing. She won't lay down. When she does lay down, she doesn't lay down very long. I've been watching her off and on in the camera all day, trying to give her a little space. Here's the thing with today. Right now, it is gorgeous out. The sun is shining, there's a breeze, it's warm, I'm wearing shorts, but we are about to get a lot of wind and a lot of strong wind. Don't think it's supposed to be too severe, just kind of run-of-the-mill thunderstorms, but we're gonna get storms. So I need her to pop these kids out now. So I'm not out here battling the wind to get them dry. With all my does, I trust them to kid and take care of their babies the best they can in the environment they have. I prefer the first time they kid to be there either right as it's happening or shortly after. The first time a couple of my does kidded, I wasn't there when they came out, but I was there before the babies were even dried off. So therefore I knew they were getting taken care of immediately. I like that. Hopefully everything goes smooth and they clean the babies, the bags are popped, everything is fine. But the first time they kid, you just want to be there. This is not her first kidding. I just have never kidded her out. I think she's kidded one other time, but I have never kidded her out. So I ended up moving Dawn, and I think I made the right decision because she had started headbutting some of the other girls and was looking stressed out by their presence. So I moved her over here and I gave her some alfalfa. The hay was already here and she started eating, so I think she calmed down quite a bit. She's having some clear discharge. She's arching her back a lot, which are all signs of good the back arching is a sign of a good contraction. And now it is just a waiting game. So with Minnie and Eden both, I was in their space, all up in them. When she needs me to, I will get in her space. But right now, the best thing, there's another contraction, that arched back. The best thing I can do for her because of her personality is be here in case she needs me, but also give her plenty of space. And I think once she has the kids, I don't think there will be a problem as far as kids, whatever she has. I don't think there will be a problem with me helping her dry them off or anything. I think just for her, the space is good. That's one thing about using this stall. My kidding stall that I have set up is not big enough for her or Belle to kid in. I wouldn't even leave her and her kids in there overnight. So we'll have to see what we need to do about that tonight, because she's kidding while we're going to have a bunch of storms. There's enough space in here that I can be in here. She can feel comfortable being in here without being right on top of her. In my little kidding stall, I'm on top of you the whole time. Dawn has just laid down and she's pushed a couple times. Oh, there we go. Oh. She can get back up. And when I say pushed a couple times, like, she gave me probably 2 good pushes. So she's gonna watch her. Get up for me. There we go. She thinks she's smelling the fluids and stuff, but we've got some water sacks and we're just gonna give her a minute. There we go. Good girl. I could see something starting to come out, and for a split second I was concerned that it was just a head, but it's another sack, so we're good. Oh, we're gonna stand up. Your little tongue and some hooves. There we go. Oh, yep. Oh. Woo! Here we go. Here we go. Oh, you are a big old guy. Yep. There you go. Good job, Mama. Oh, boy. Okay. Here we go. Oh, where's your feet? There's one. Hold on, baby. Hold on. There it is. There we go. Okay. I got your feet. Woo! Two little blacklings. The first one I'm pretty sure is pretty solid black with just a little white pole. The second little black one has at least a couple spots, but I don't know if it showed on camera because I had to get in there pretty quick. The second little guy had one of his back feet was bent at the knee, so it was back behind. I don't have milk, baby. Hold on, we'll get you nursing. It was bent at the knee, back behind his head. So I was able to get in there and just pop it forward, and then he came right on out. I didn't have to do much assisting with that one. And Mama is cleaning them, I'm cleaning them, and I need to go get my Don't Die juice. And maybe find a better angle for the camera. Hold on, I'm gonna help you. My Mama's getting Bubba taken care of. You gotta get your sea legs. You gotta get your sea legs. I think that's the fastest I've ever had a baby get up and actually nurse correctly. I say correctly. He pretty well did it on his own. I just got him in the general area. And he's currently trying to get it again. Can we get this one on your other side? Both babies have nursed really well with some assistance of finding where they need to be, which is common. They can figure it out on their own too. But Mama is kind of like Mini Pearl in the fact if she wants to keep the babies in front of her to the point it's making her nervous that they're not in front of her constantly, and that's why it looks like she's constantly shoving them away. She wants them. She just wants them in front of her so she can lick them. Hi guys. So it is a couple days after Dawn kidded. I have discovered what I like to do for these kidding videos is do most of the video, show the babies, you know, kind of getting up and moving, and then a couple days later I like to come back and show y'all just show you them again. And I just walked into the barn and here we go, look. Well, no one else is here. This was the first little guy that was born. Can you show me your pretty face? Oh no, you're gonna tinkle. And this is the other one. This is the one that has all the markings. Look, I have eyebrows. No little spot. Come here, come here, come here. So this one, oop, turn to show. See his little brown butt? Reagan thinks he looks like he's wearing chaps. So we've named this one Chaps. We don't plan on keeping either one of these little guys, so they don't really get a good name, a keeper quality name. And then this one with the little white pole, maybe, there we go. He's got a little white pole, and he's got a couple little white spots here and there, I think. I know he's got at least one more. This one I started calling Cowboy. So we have Cowboy and Chaps, and they are both huge guys. Come on, let's go outside. All the does heard me, so they all came running in to see what I was doing, thinking I was bringing food. So this little guy is Mini Pearl's buckling. He is 2 weeks old tomorrow. This is Dawn's buckling. So he's an F1 Nigerian Nubian mix. And you can just see the size we're looking at here. We're gonna have a fight. You know that's my hair. In the last couple of videos, I had mentioned that we'd had some hard stuff come up. One of those videos being the first of Minnie and Eden's video. I had mentioned it being a hard couple of days. And then in Sunny's video, which was last Saturday, I had mentioned we only had 2 does left to kid. And if you've been here for a while and kind of know our herd, you would have known that was wrong, and we should have had 3. But we had some stuff come up. So Violet had kidded on a Thursday, And so she had two stillborns. We addressed that in a video where we had Mr. Marshmallow. So that was Thursday. I was watching Minnie. I was watching Eden a little bit. Saturday night, when I did my final herd check, I had noticed that Belle had some discharge that I didn't really like. I gave her some calcium. I had told Reagan that that could be her mucus plug, but it may not be. And I told him when we went to bed that night, I said, if she really is, if that's not her mucus plug and she's about to go into labor, there's nothing I can do to save those babies. They're, 6 weeks early. And Sunday morning when I checked the camera, I seen something on the camera and I'm like, I know what that is. And sure enough, I came down to the barn Sunday morning and Belle had 2 stillborn little girls. They would have been gorgeous little doelings. They were perfectly formed, no obvious, there was nothing obvious about what caused her to go into labor early. I don't know if her and Dawn had been bickering a little bit. I don't know if she got hit wrong in the stomach and that's what caused it. I don't know. We had a friend come over and look over the herd with me to see if I was missing anything obvious, just because I see them all the time. We checked Malacha scores. Everyone was basically where we expected them to be. She looked over different things. Not that I was necessarily doing anything wrong, but maybe I had missed something where it had been cold and I wasn't out here as much, even though I'd been out here quite a bit. But nothing obvious. I called my vet, talked to my vet, and she's like, it's been a hard spring. A lot of my cattle producers are struggling with stuff they don't typically struggle with. There wasn't anything that she could just absolutely, this sounds like what it is. Belle had been perfectly normal up until that point. She wasn't showing signs of ketoacidosis or milk fever, which is like low calcium. There was nothing that was just 100% this is obvious that this is what it was. So we moved on. Minnie Pearl kidded that afternoon and had a perfectly healthy doeling. Eden went Monday morning, perfectly healthy twin doelings. Belle has been perfectly normal since. She was up eating. I put her in a kidding stall Sunday morning with molasses and treated her just like I would any doe that had just kidded. So nothing obvious was happening with them. So Dawn is our only set of Nubians, mini Nubians, that are going to be on the farm until 2026. It's really, it's upsetting in general, but especially because they were both does and I really wanted to keep another doe. But that is life on a farm. When you have 19 goats and you're kidding 6 does out, 6, 7, 7. Yes, I had to count. There's a list for the record. People ask me, how many goats do you have? I had to make a list with all their names because I could never tell anyone when they would ask me. But now I have a list and I know, and I add to my list when I need to. That was on a Sunday morning. And several weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I had made a video about Laramie. I'd kind of updated here and there what was going on with her when she was in the background of a video. And on Saturday, me and Reagan had to make the heart-wrenching decision to actually put her down. And I still don't 100% know what was going on with her. When Laramie first started getting weak on her front end, I started treating her for meningeal worm, which is a worm that goes to their brain. They get it from deer feces being in your pasture. I started treating her for that. And halfway through that course, she should have been improving, but she got worse, so I decided to take her to the vet. With talking to the vet, we decided to treat her for insert word here. And she got better. And the vet had said, if you see some improvement but not a lot, let's do a round of steroids. So we did 1 dose of steroids. She got a little better and then she kind of decreased again. I talked to the vet again and we decided to do 5 days of steroids. and we did the 5 days of steroids, and she got a little better, and then she got worse again. And that was when I decided to go back to the vet, take her with me, and we decided to do x-rays. And where she was buckling down in the bottom part of her leg, there was no break, there was nothing obvious, but she did have arthritis in her shoulder. And so he thought that trying to do a different steroid may help, or not a steroid, an anti-inflammatory, a little bit stronger than the typical go-to, which is Banamine. So we did that, and she never got any better. She was back on stall rest. We were giving her food, we were giving her grain, we were doing all the things we could for her, and she just wasn't getting any better. She was slowly getting worse. And Friday night, the Friday night before I made the ultimate decision, I had went down to the barn. I checked the camera and seen her flat out on her side, unable to get up. And that was scary. So I rushed down there. I don't know how long she'd been like that. Probably not long, because I've been checking the cameras constantly at that point for her and for other reasons too. Other kid. We were looking for babies. So I rushed into the barn and I got her up and I put her in the kidding stall. And I actually had her and Violet in the kidding stall together at that point with a heat lamp on, because Violet had just kidded on Thursday, so this was Friday. And so I put those two in the kidding stall together, and they got along fine. They sat there and they ate their grain, but I noticed Laramie wasn't getting up at all. She wasn't moving around. She was, just kind of leaning over and reaching for water in the bucket. She wasn't getting up. And that had been different. That was the first time she hadn't got up at all. So I went down there Friday night and I tried to help her stand up, and she could not. Those back legs were so weak. She could not get up on them. So Friday night I went down there before I went to bed, and I tried to help her stand up, and I got her up on her feet, and those back legs had just started to get weak on her too. And I gave her a shot of B12, and I gave her a little more food, and she was eating happily, chewing cud, nice big pile of poop behind her tail. It all looked wonderful poop wise. And went down there Saturday morning and tried to help her up again, and she just could not. She was slinging her head around while I was trying to help her up, like she was in pain trying to stand, but she was still eating. I left her in there with a big pile of alfalfa and the heat lamp on, so she was nice and warm. And I went and talked to Reagan and told him what I was thinking and what I'd kind of decided, and not really looking for his input in one way, but also it was what it was. And so we decided to put her down because she was starting to atrophy in those back legs, and that's not fair to her. She was still eating. She still, she was still eating. She was still drinking. She was still, would talk to you a little bit, but she couldn't just live in a pile on the barn floor. That's no life for a goat. Even though she was still doing things, her body just wasn't keeping up. And when I was talking to the vet about the stillborns and about Belle and about Laramie, the only thing we can kind of come up with, because I did not do a necropsy on her, is that it was meningeal worm. And even though I killed the worms themselves, the damage they did was just already too severe. And that's what did it, is as the longer she laid around, those leg muscles just couldn't keep up. And it was a hard decision, and it's one of those decisions that sucks when you have to make it. But when you decide to get livestock or even a pet, you also know those decisions are going to fall to you. And being good stewards to those animals is to know when they are suffering and when enough is enough. At that point, she wasn't in any pain laying down. She still had an appetite. She wasn't just laying there suffering. we made that decision before it was just miserable for her to even exist. She got big pile of yummy alfalfa that the goats go crazy over. She got loved on, and she, left knowing she was loved for and cared for, and that the people that had her were being a good steward of her. The good always outweighs the bad in the things we've decided to do here. We love what we're doing, even, oh my goodness. That is not where baby goats go. And this is why. And this is why I'm keeping very little water in that water bucket right now. It's little boogers like this. On a side venture, goats are kind of like cats. If you've been around a cat and they have a cardboard box, I fits, I sits. Goats are the same way. They will lay in all those containers. That's why there's very little water in that one. I need to put some in it, but I keep little water in it for that reason right there. Homesteading is wonderful. I love that we raise our own dairy. I love that we raise our own meat. And the bad things, the hard things still suck, but I'm glad we're doing what we're doing. I'm glad we get to share it with y'all. I'm glad y'all enjoy going on this trip with us, or this ride with us, and seeing all the cute and wonderful things. But I also want to be real. I also want to share the hard things, and this was a hard thing. The start of kidding season was very hard. Now all of our does have kidded, but one, we still have some Nigerian with a little bit of meat goat kids coming. Well, where is she? There she is. She's coming up over my shoulder. Miss Rosemary is due at the end of the month. The big one over there, that is Rosemary. She is due at the end of March. So we have a couple weeks off. We have a couple weeks off from kidding. And it's nice because I've been able to catch up on some sleep lately. The rest of our does are doing wonderful being moms. I have been milking Belle. She does not have the same amount of milk as she normally does, but she does have some. I am having to tape her because her doling from last year is trying to nurse off her, which I know has helped her milk come in, but I don't want her nursing off her. So I'm gonna keep taping her. We are milking her. And there's some more exciting things coming. We have some wonderful kids on the ground. We have some that I really wish we would have got to see, but that's okay because we will pick up and we will do it again next year. I'm Megan from the GWP Homestead, and this is Cowboy giving us a boop out. Boop.